increasingly, conservative voters are rejecting more war and an expanding war in the Middle East, and that's what you just witnessed during one of Nikki Haley's campaign events. Now, what's interesting is that there is this growing divide among the neocon wing of the Republican Party and the more isolationist wing of the Republican Party. And what you just witnessed was a representative of the growing isolationist mood among Republican voters. In fact, Tucker Carlson recently weighed in on the neocons in the United States Senate following a drone strike that killed 3 of our service members in Jordan. And I want to give you the statements by 2 senators in particular following that drone strike, and then I'll tell you what Tucker Carlson had to say about it. So at first you have Lindsey Graham, who in response to that drone strike had tweeted, "Secretary Lloyd Austin's efforts to deter aggression against our forces in the region has failed miserably. I've long since lost confidence in the Biden national security team to deter Iran. If they do not change their policies now, more American service members in the region will pay the price." And then he follows that up with, "Hit Iran now, hit them hard." So he is itching and has been itching with a hot war with Iran for some time now. I mean, Lindsey Graham is the biggest war hawk and loves, I don't think he's ever seen a war he didn't love. Then you have Republican Senator John Cornyn jumping in to simply say target Tehran, also calling for war with Iran. And Tucker Carlson had a very simple response to both of them, one that I particularly enjoyed. He just called them effing lunatics.
Might be the first time I've agreed with Tucker Carlson. Couldn't agree more. So look, Lindsey Graham is a senator from Defense Contractors. And so he gets funded by them. He's pushed for every single war. Anytime there's any kind of conflict, he encourages Republican and Democratic presidents to bomb, bomb, bomb. And then once we bomb and then they bomb back, he always feigns surprise and says, you see that? We can't even murder them in peace. These savages fight back a little bit. And then he asked for a much wider war. And so he's one of the morons who were in favor of the Iraq war. Total idiot, got it completely wrong. How many of our kids died in Iraq? It was because of Lindsey Graham.
It's real easy for Senator Lindsey Graham, an elderly man with no children, to call for war because he doesn't have to worry about his own kids being sent to the Middle East.
I'll say the same thing to Lindsey Graham and Tom Cotton and Nikki Haley and all these warmongers on the right wing. And by the way, same for the warmongers on the left wing. Okay, there isn't much on the left wing, but among Democrats, the Joe Bidens of the world who vote for every war, Hillary Clinton, Iraq war, we love it. Go, go, go! You will kill people more than Republicans will. So all those people. So I will say to you the same thing that I say to people who want you to do suicide bombings. I've said this for about 20 years on the show. Somebody asks you to do a suicide bombing, you go, oh yeah, that's a super interesting idea. You first. You put on the suicide vest, let me see your ass blow up, and then maybe I'll come after you, okay? Lead by example. So Lindsey Graham, Nikki Haley, Tom Cotton, etc., John Cornyn, go ahead, I want you on the front lines. If you're not on the front lines, shut up. I'm not sending my kids to fight your war, okay? So you first, you first. Oh, you cowards are never gonna go there, never.
Right.
And all you're gonna do is send other kids to die, and you think, well, it doesn't matter. They're not gonna be the donor kids. They're all rich. We're gonna send poor kids to die for us.
And they'll be the first to sign legislation blocking any refugees from coming into the country, refugees that were made refugees due to the United States expanding war in the Middle East and destabilizing the region further. So that's the other part of it, right? The second half of it, where you have people displaced as a result of us helping to destabilize that region. And then the United States politicians, including those calling for the expansion of that war, denying entry of those refugees into our country for any hope of a life outside of total misery in the Middle East, misery that we partly attributed or contributed to. Now, I want to go to what the reality of a war with Iran would look like. Because it's real easy to just call for it. And I know that a lot of people still have that mindset of US exceptionalism. And we do spend a lot of money in our military. But if you're under the impression that going to war with Iran would be a cakewalk for the United States and our military, you would be mistaken. This is no joke. So let's go to Jordan Cohen. He's a policy analyst in defense and foreign policy at the Cato Institute. And he wrote a really great piece in The Hill about what a war with Iran would look like. And this is the kind of stuff that he analyzes to kind of see what the cost of the war would be, what the chances are that the United States would win. And here's what he writes. Iran's military is designed to prevent an invasion and impose significant costs on any potential attack by air or sea. They have 600-mile range cruise missiles, advanced long-range air defense systems, short-range air defense systems, anti-aircraft missiles, 3,000 ballistic missiles, 6,000 naval mines, and the most capable unmanned aerial vehicles in the region. So you can kind of understand why Israel would want us to fight their war for them rather than taking it on themselves. But let me continue. Previous analysts have weighed the chances of success for a campaign reliant on US air and naval power. A 2002 war game that required US planners to change the rules mid-conflict showed that Iran could easily sink US ships, and in 2012, Pentagon officials estimated that such a strategy would require a minimum of 100,000 troops. So simply attacking Iran by land, by air and sea wouldn't be enough. We would have to send some troops on the ground. But as a result, the US will be unable to engage in a strategy relying on air and naval power to overwhelm the Iranian military, and a ground invasion would be necessary. So let's get to the ground invasion and what that would require. Following escalations with Iran in 2019, Pentagon officials estimated a version of this strategy that sought to destroy Iranian nuclear weapons facilities that would require a minimum of 120,000 troops deployed throughout the Middle East. That's just throughout the Middle East. What about troops on the ground in Iran? We'll get a load of this. This is insane. Analysts estimate that any ground invasion would require 1.6 million US troops, almost 10 times what the United States committed to Iraq at any given time. So are we ready for this? Is this what we want? I don't want this. This is ridiculous. This is insane.
To quote a guy I do not like, effing lunatics. It's true. So now you see me hit Trump harder than anybody, probably in America. And on this, I 100% disagree with Trump too. He nearly started World War III. Just got lucky it didn't happen. He killed the top Iranian general. He moved our embassy in Israel. These are massive provocations. And he got us out of the Iran deal, which was taking all the uranium out of Iran. Now they can develop nukes because the moron named Donald Trump took us out of the deal. Now, having said that, I'm going to say something that's going to make a lot of people really mad. There are only parts of MAGA that I like and respect. You're not allowed to say it. We have to hate the other side 100%, and they have to hate us 100%. But that guy who ripped up that Nikki Haley sign, I like that guy. So I might not like his other views. I might not like that he supports Donald Trump, and he might be misinformed about how Trump's anti-war and all that. Okay, but I don't find it. I don't find figures like Nikki Haley comforting.
No.
They're all work for the establishment. The establishment is terrible, awful. I don't agree with the mainstream media who thinks that the establishment is wonderful. The status quo is amazing. And these beloved politicians. No, I think these politicians are monsters. And if there is a portion of MAGA, and I think there is, that genuinely is standing up and going, I don't want it, that's it. I don't want any more wars. I don't want to go die for you. I don't want to. So you keep telling me, no, I have to die for Israel. I have to die for oil companies. I have to die for defense contractors. I have to die for Halliburton. No, I don't want to. And it's got no business, we got no business there. It gives us no advantage, 0, 0, 0. It's to protect an ally, really? What ally? How has Israel helped us? They've helped us with absolutely nothing. All they ever did was get us in more trouble. So, and we have to do it to protect only democracy in the Middle East. How is it a democracy when it imprisons 5 million Palestinians and says we're never going to take our boot off their neck? But Netanyahu says it now, no Palestinian state. We're never going to give them a state. Gee, I wonder why the Muslims hate us. But no, you have to go and die there because Lindsey Graham wanted a war, Nikki Haley wanted a war. So no, I'm not interested in any of that. They're terrible human beings. Don't let the mainstream media lie to you. The real problem is the people in power, not the powerless.
If you enjoyed this video, that's because of our members. They make us independent, they make us strong, and they make us honest. Become a member today by hitting the join button below.